Hi.
Hey Chris, how are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Doing well. I'm excited. This is the first one of these kinds of things that I've done. So
Yeah.
looking forward to
Yeah.
it.
So I could just first ask what led up to you pursuing voiceover professionally?
Totally, yeah. So I've taken acting classes mostly for theater since I was like 5 years old, and I am 27 now. That took me a bit to remember. So it's been pursuing it on a learning level for a while. Did theater and drama all through high school, and I minored in theater in college. I went to USC for film school. And after graduating from film school, I worked for a few years in independent film as a producer and editor. And then I realized that I really missed performing. And I had taken a voice acting class my last semester of college. And I really, really liked it. Like as a consumer, I really like animation and video games. And so it was really cool to be able to do the voices that come out of those characters' mouths. And so I decided, I think in like summer of 2019 to take more voiceover classes and see where it led me. And then March of 2020, the pandemic happened and film production kind of shut down. And so I'm like, let me try to really put myself into this voice acting thing and really try to pursue it. And I've been doing that ever since. I've been really, really enjoying it.
Mhm. Do you predominantly work remotely then?
Right now, yeah, but I have done some in studio sessions. I'm in LA,
Yeah.
so that's where a lot of the studios are. Not all of them, but I've done a lot of remote stuff too.
How did you get into SAG?
I'm actually not in SAG yet.
Oh,
I want to be though, so it's on the list of goals.
yeah.
Hopefully soon.
What's the is there a primary field of voiceover that you work in?
Kind of everything. I've done some like internet commercials. I've done video games, obviously Fire Emblem and some other ones, and definitely wanting to. I've done like one animated short film and wanting to get more into that as well. So whatever I can get my hands on, I love doing.
Mhm.
So yeah.
And when you did get the audition for Fire Emblem, was that pretty general?
Yeah, it was really well. So I took a class taught by Patrick Seitz,
Yeah.
and who's amazing, as I'm sure you know. And he reached. I contacted him after the class, and he reached back out to me and forwarded me some auditions. And I'm like, ooh, like I wonder what these could be because they were very not super specific. Like very like everything was code named and like the character descriptions were pretty general. And so I did them and sent them back to him and he sent them to the studio like a month or no, a few weeks later. I got an email from Cup of Tea saying that I had booked one of the roles I had auditioned for. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. That's so cool. I kind of had an inkling that it might be Fire Emblem Heroes just because I knew that Patrick worked on the Fire Emblem games. And just I was kind of hoping that it might be, but and then I didn't actually know for sure which role I had booked or that it was actually Fire Emblem until I was in my booth in the session, and I was like, wow, it was so exciting, so
Mhm.
cool.
Was Patrick the one directing you as well?
No, actually, it was Caitlin
Okay.
Galt,
Yeah.
who's amazing. She is such a great director. She really made me feel comfortable, and I think that was super important for me because it was my first like big video game booking, and especially it being Fire Emblem, which is like I've played Fire Emblem games, like it's like a huge deal to me personally, and she really made me feel comfortable and like safe to explore different parts of the character and it was a really really smooth session, really quick actually. It was like maybe 25 or 30 minutes, but some of the best 25 or 30 minutes of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually I always like to ask people what their experience was working with Caitlin because I interviewed her back when she first started directing primarily for Heroes.
That's so cool. Yeah,
Yeah. How could
yeah,
you
she's great.
yeah. How could you relate to Wolf at all?
Um, I think Wolf is pretty different from me in some ways. He's a lot more, I think, stoic and serious. But I think the way that I sort of tried to get into him as a character was I think that I am a very loyal person, and I think Wolf is as well. Literally, his little subtitle thing is "Coyote's loyal," um, and I think that sometimes we all can kind of be blinded by our loyalty or like ignore that maybe friends or other people that we have sort of invested our loyalty in have changed and might not be that good for us, or in the case of Lord Harden, good for the world. His journey of coming to terms with that was something that I felt like was kind of an emotional arc that I could grab onto and relate to as kind of the like basis that I was approaching the character from.
Mhm. And it sounds like it's pretty similar to your natural voice.
Yeah, it is. Maybe like a little on the deeper end of my natural voice, but pretty similar. I didn't have to do do too many crazy things with it, which was nice.
And are there any favorite lines that you remember?
Oh gosh. Um, all the lines were great, of course. But I like the line, the life Lord Hardin gave me must fulfill its purpose.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in that one line, kind of that whole emotional journey that Wolf goes on that I was talking about is kind of encapsulated because he, like Wolf was rescued from slavery by Hardin and then has to end up using, his life that Hardin saved and freed to turn against Hardin. And I thought that was a powerful line, and it was a fun one to record. And also his like death line was cool, where he just goes "Coyote" and dies, because I did like a couple takes of it in the session, and on one of them I had a little like cut Coyote just like for myself to kind of like try to like get into the dying
Yeah.
aspect of it, and they put that little cut Coyote in the game, and I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. I'm happy they used that one.
And do you play heroes?
Yeah, actually, more so, I would say more so after I found out I had booked, like after I did the session,
Yeah.
because I'm like, ooh, like if I'm a character in it, I better like get up to speed on the game. It's fun. I like it. I'm not like super great at it, but it's fun, and it's cool to get to like have all the different characters from all the different Fire Emblem games, and like all the different, like to hear all the different actors' performances next to each other is really really cool. And it's kind of amazing to me that like my voice is in a game with other like super big voice actors that I've looked up to or learned from in classes for for so long, and now I'm in a game with them. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Who do you play? Like who are your units?
So for a while, my main team was Wolf, Violent, Rocher, and Sedgar, the Coyotes men, because I'm like, ooh, like I like that. But kind of a lot of I kind of go back and forth sometimes with a lot of the Three Houses ones, because that was the first, actually, Three Houses was the first Fire Emblem game that I played. And I really liked it, and I really, feel attached to those characters. So I use a lot of them a lot. Like my first playthrough, I chose the Blue Lions. So like Dimitri, Ingrid, Mercedes, those people.
Are you friends with any of the people in the cast too?
I want to be even better friends with all of them. I'm trying to think, because I definitely have like been in voiceover classes with a good number of them, both as some as teachers and some as fellow students. And a lot of the time that I was in voiceover classes over the past 2 years, it's all been remote over Zoom. So I'm looking forward to when those can all be back in person again, which would be cool. But like um, Courtney Lynn, who voices Tine, who just came out, I've gotten to know her a bit, and I've been in some classes with Brandon, who voices Sedgar, and some others as well. But yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that you have a preference for acting in more dramatic roles like that?
I do also really love comedy. So I kind of like it all. But I think that the dramatic stuff is really fun because I get to sort of tap into my like background in theater and training in theater to get to some of those more heightened moments, dramatically speaking. So that's a lot of fun for me. I like it all. I like being funny too. Wolf isn't the funniest guy necessarily, but
Have you had many opportunities yet to audition for anime?
a few, and I fingers crossed that there are more on the horizon because I enjoy anime as a viewer, and I think that dubbing. I've done a little bit of dubbing for another video game that I was in, where I had to dub some cutscenes that were originally like animated to. I think the original language was Chinese,
Okay.
and that was like a really fun challenge. I played snare drum in my middle school band, and so that kind of like rhythmic, percussive musicality that I have to sort of tap into to get the to matching the lip flaps right and stuff is a fun added layer on top of the acting. So I'd love to get the opportunity to be in anime and get even more auditions and stuff like that. So we'll see what the future holds.
Mhm. That's what I've heard too, that people that have musical backgrounds or musical experience take the dubbing a lot easier.
Yeah, I've heard that too. And yeah, I feel like I didn't have like a huge. I've done some like dubbing classes and stuff, and I was able to catch on pretty quickly. It's fun. I like it. It's a fun. It's almost like playing a rhythm game, but you're acting at the same time, and you're using your mouth instead of a controller.
Mhm. So besides Wolf, has there been another role so far where you've gotten to really go to a dark emotional place?
Not really. I would say that Wolf is probably the most darkest emotional role that I've had thus far. Some of the other roles I've had in like smaller indie video games and stuff have been less. I would say I got to in that little short half-hour session with Caitlin and the rest of the people that were on the call. I got to kind of explore a lot of different sides of Wolf, and that was really fun and rewarding. And obviously, a lot of those sides are, some of those sides are darker than others, but it was really cool to get to go to those places. And Caitlin's direction definitely helped me feel comfortable to go there.
Yeah. So is there anything else that's upcoming that you're part of that you can safely talk about?
Not that I can talk about yet, but maybe things on the horizon,
Yeah.
which is exciting. And I'm also excited for whatever else isn't on the horizon yet, but will be.
Mhm. It'd be cool if you get to, because obviously there's some people in Heroes that get to play tons of characters again. So it'd be cool if you get to come back.
That would be so cool. That would be awesome. I would love that.
Well, my final question then is always asking, what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's an intense question. Um, that's like it's like that's like a theme of a Fire Emblem game. What do I want my legacy to be? I don't know. I think that I would like to bring, I guess, joy to people. And I guess, for me, when I really connect with a piece of media, whether it be a movie or a video game or a song, I feel like kind of, I feel like I see parts of myself reflected back at me by whatever work that is, if that makes sense. And I think I think I would love to be part of, whether it be an incredible series like Fire Emblem or anything else that touches people's lives and makes people, gives people a sense of community in, whatever the fan base is, and makes people feel less alone, I guess, which is a weird thing for me to feel like I want my legacy to be, for like, talking into a microphone and making funny voices. But I think that stories and characters are really, really powerful in that way. And I think that I'd love to, continue building that legacy.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks. I'm glad that we got to do this.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. And it was a great meeting you, Chris.
Yeah, you too. I actually had people requesting that I try to reach out to you too. So there is a fan for Wolf for your.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Wolf too, just as a character. So that's so cool. I'm so glad. I'm definitely part of that fan base as well.
All right. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.